that, let's go back in time about a year. Picture me, a rising sophomore, preparing to co-lead the Jills with some senior I had only met once, who had spent the year gallivanting through France doing amazing things I could only dream about. I had no idea what to expect. Now, it's not that I hadn't heard anything about her. In fact, the graduating Jills had been telling us for months how great a president this girl would be, how organized she was, how dedicated to the Jills she was, but still, I was a puny sophomore and she was a great and mighty senior. I was scared shitless. But then in walked Miss Emily Scott. She marched up to where I sat at a small outdoor cafe in our shared hometown of Chicago. Looking stunning as always with a light blue scarf that made her eyes pop and some killer black boots. Actually, I have no idea what she was wearing, but chances are it included a scarf and some boots. Anyway, she gave me a big hug and said she was so excited to work with me. And I knew she meant it. She had levels of enthusiasm in her voice that immediately let me know how much she cared. Jills clearly meant the world to her, and she was determined to make this the best year ever. At that moment, my fears were laid to rest. And now, back to the question of what it means to be a great leader. Let me give you my take on this. First of all, I think one must be passionate about the tasks at hand. With this, Emily goes above and beyond. Indeed, the enthusiasm that calmed my fears that day months ago has certainly carried throughout her time as president of the Jills. She is always eager to find more that can be done to make the group run extra smoothly, to make us sound that much better, or to give us an extra boost of confidence. Not to mention, she knows more about Jill's history than anyone that has ever lived. Ask her what the first track was on the Jills' third album, and she'll tell you. And then she'll tell you who arranged it, who sang the solo, and what they were wearing when they first performed it. Let's just say Jills is always on her mind. A leader must also have a sense of balance, and Emily has certainly found this. She understands what it means to run a serious organization with real goals and real aspirations, but is still able to ensure that we have a good time while doing it. She is both a leader and a friend, which is not always the easiest combination to maintain. She knows when it's time to buckle down to business and when it's okay to go ahead and let her hair down. A leader should also care about each individual for whom she is responsible. Believe me, Emily has this one down. More than just a president, Emily doubles as all of our mothers. I probably get about 50 G-steps a day from her, making sure everything is going well on my side of things, asking if there's anything she can do to help me prepare for that night's rehearsal, and so on. And then there's her adorable, "Did you get home okay?" text, or a call just to see how you're doing. Believe me, it's that easy to know how much she cares. There are also some things about Emily that may not be the characteristics that come to mind when you think of a great leader, but Emily certainly wouldn't be the same without them. For example, her love of, or should I say obsession with, France. If you look up French culture in the dictionary, you'd probably find Emily's name written there, and I'm not kidding. She has at least 17 French posters up in her room, uses French phrases about 6 times in every sentence, which is about the same number of times a day she brushes her teeth. And only wears things that make her look like she belongs at a Paris cafe eating baguettes. Not to mention, she lives in the French house. But rehearsals really wouldn't be the same if Emily used English to count how many Jills were in the room, or if there wasn't the occasional French swear coming out of her mouth. And then there's her laugh. Oh, the laugh. Never have I met someone with such an animated laugh. The first time I heard it, I was pretty sure she was going to spontaneously combust right there, and that would be the end of her. Now, I wouldn't exchange it for the world. It's become a staple of our Jills rehearsals, and it's so extremely contagious that it automatically lifts the mood as everyone just has to chuckle along. Never stop laughing. All of that said, there's only one thing left to say. Merci pour une année extraordinaire de Jills. Thanks for making this year of Jills simply amazing. We are going to miss you like crazy.